How you doing, you mate? Okay.
Yeah, all right, man. How you doing? Thanks so much for speaking to me.
Thanks for having us on.
How's things going? Congratulations on the single. I really like it a lot.
Nice one, mate.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
PETALS.
I
Yeah,
know
and it's
it's
gone down really well now. I mean, it's only been out for a few days, but it's doing really well now.
seems to be. It's really good to see progression from single to single. When I don't know, you just see a wee bit of progress from each single. So when everyone comes out, does a wee bit better. So it's a really good feeling. So really happy with it.
Hmm. And I mean, the fact that you've been kind of obviously since lockdown, you've been able to do a few more concerts now. Has that kind of helped you to write, or was this all stuff that you recorded before being able to go back to the live circuit?
So picking nails, losing track now because we've been sitting on this one for quite a while, to be honest with
Right.
you. Because we'd recorded two or three, um, and we've just been gradually letting them out. So I think one of the ones we've done actually in lockdown was called Lately, and we actually finished that during lockdown and things like that. So that's try to put a time scale on things. I'm terrible at when things happen. I kind of just float through life, and I'm not sure exactly when's happened. I don't just know it's happened, but that was a few singles ago. But no, this is a kind of we're evolving a wee bit. We feel so. This is kind of more of what's to come for the
Yeah,
next
that's what I was going to
batch.
say. I was just kind of listening to your catalog now before hopping on, and it certainly kind of feels heavier, rockier, kind of more that kind of thing. Is that what you want to go for? Do you also want to kind of bring some of the anthemic ballads back into play as well?
No, well, we've just recorded an EP actually, and that we don't know what we're doing with yet. So that'll be coming in the future. A wee exclusive there for you. But that's it's kind of with because I do it me personally. Like Queen's one of my favourite bands, so I love a
All
ballad.
right.
And Fran that will be joining soon. He
He's here
forgot that.
now.
Yeah, there he is.
I didn't forget. My Mac was dead. Now it's
How are you
alive.
doing, Fran? Nice to speak to you. Thanks very much for connecting, Fran, as well.
I'm all right. You doing all right?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, you're originally from Italy, is that right? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
You've got a bit of a Scottish twang, no? He's got a bit of a Scottish twang there. No, I think I can hear. No,
Yeah,
you've been there for a while.
Yeah, 5 years now. Yeah, I needed to pick up some of the accent. Yeah,
No,
the
definitely.
one I had before wasn't really fitting the place. It was a very much more of an American accent, and people were like, "Oh, where are you from?" So, yeah, I had to drop that.
So I mean, I'm from Manchester, but I live over in Spain, in Bilbao, in the north of Spain. So I get the same
Oh,
thing as well. Yeah.
better weather there.
Yes, it's not bad now, but it's not been great. I think it's been better over there than it has over here lately. Yeah.
To be fair, it has been for about 10 days. It's been scorching, so it's been amazing. Enjoyed
Oh.
it.
So I mean, yeah, I was just for now. I was just telling David kind of like that. I was listening to the song, the kind of the catalog of songs, and it definitely feels like it's kind of gone heavier. And I was asking if we were going to bring any more
Sorry.
ballads back in there, and he was kind of he referred that he's a big fan of Queen, so he definitely likes to kind of keep some of that stuff in there. What about from your point of view, your perspective?
I think talking about ballads, I think we had this not conversation because me and David we had loads of like some sort of a like one sentence conversation where one of us just say something to the other and then just get like archived there and at some point just comes back. And I think I've told David on the way back of one of our gigs that we need to write another ballad actually or something a bit slower. But I think it's something that came out. I'm from a totally different background, to be honest, mate. My previous band was a stoner desert rock band, so yeah, with a bit of a back history in LA, so completely different kind of stuff. When I moved here in the UK, I decided to give a try to what is known as Brit pop or Brit rock, which is like 99% of radio programs basically.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's I think it's easy to write when you have like good people around you, like David and all the other guys that play with us. They kind of bring a lot of the pure British like attitude as something that you can't have on stage unless you're from here. You can't fake it.
Yeah. But how did you end up in the group? I mean, so obviously you said you went off. What did you say to LA? No, was it originally?
Yes, yeah.
So how did you end up? first going from Bologna? I think it's from Bologna, and then you went off to LA, and then you ended up in Glasgow. How did that come about?
Basically, I play with this guy in Italy that used to play for people in the desert rock scene, like Brian Bjork, Nick Oliveri. He was the guy from Queens of the Stone Age. He was a drummer for them. So from that, we started a new band in Italy, and then obviously in Italy there's not much of a market for that kind of stuff, so we had to focus on Europe. And then with S Connection, we went to LA and do all the fancy shoegazing, amazing star shooting thing that never really worked out because it takes time and money and effort and health. And I went through like that sort of a heavy scene, you know, and it's obviously a very particular kind of scene where there's loads of like things involved and just needed a fresh start. And I moved to the UK because, funnily enough, I've toured Europe, I've played in America, but never been on British soil before. And I thought that Glasgow was a good start because it's, again, funnily enough, the place where you will find the least amount of Italians. So I wanted a place away from all Italians people, and
put a flag down and claim it.
Yeah, absolutely, yes, you know. And I had another band.
But you specifically went and moved over there to try and kind of from music, not to try and form a band over there, yeah?
Kind of like I came here to Glasgow because I wanted to start over, and music is something that always stuck with me. So I knew that Glasgow was gonna give me more opportunity. And before lockdown, I had another band with new album release and loads of gigs. And obviously with the lockdown and everything stopped, and my previous singer decided to just split the band, and just I couldn't stay, you know, like doing nothing. And so I started looking for other stuff, and I found just David and his band that was already Petty Cassettes. So I was like, let's give it a try to this. And it worked out just fine.
Yeah. Thank you. And you were asking about how the evolution of it, and it's got a little bit heavier. I think you'll find that it coincides with the time that Fran joined the band. Yeah. And his amazing guitar playing skills. So
I mean, was it actually intentional? Were you actually looking for someone else to join the band, or was it just intentional? You kind of came across him, and
no, we were looking. As I said, I hate when you get asked these questions in interviews. Like, how did you meet? Because you wanted to be some like fun or crazy romantic story.
Yeah.
Right, we met on Tinder. Right, we met on Tinder. Let's go with that.
Swipe left by mistake. Yeah.
Yes. I catfish
David every day. We met on Facebook. All the very boring origin story. Facebook, looking for bass player, looking for guitarist.
But I mean, you say it's a basic kind of story. But I imagine you saw a sound there that was kind of different than what you'd done so far. I imagine that was kind of what you were looking for, no? Yeah, no, it's honestly it's happened. The band probably still wouldn't be going if Fran hadn't joined, because we're a very good team. So it's happened at the right time, and it's going very well. So cheers, mate. Cheers for moving to Glasgow.
No worries.
But we do also want to kill each other 50% of the time. But it's a good balance.
It's a healthy relationship. Come on.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also, I mean, it's a great combination, because I mean, obviously the lyrics they do go down some really dark rabbit holes, kind of like about depression, kind of boiling point. There's maybe even kind of themes of suicide. You don't know if someone's kind of depressed. And I was reading an interview that you read that a lot of your tunes are actually, they kind of sound kind of catchy and kind of perky songs, but they go down these really dark rabbit holes, kind of almost like someone who might be suicidal, even if they don't kind of realize it. Is that kind of the way that you kind of approach the songs, is to kind of make them feel one way and kind of reveal something else underneath there?
It's hard, like sometimes you can't choose what you're about to write, so it's just kind of like if mental health's a big massive thing, and loads of people are suffering from it, so it's kind of like therapeutic when I'm writing lyrics and things like that, because they're quite oxymoron. It's like really upbeat, but it's like kind of disguise that it's just, I don't know. It's as you've hit the nail on the head with it, and it's just unfortunately what comes out my big sad mouth.
Well, to be honest, David, and you know that we also have like shelved loads of like songs and riffs that are a bit more on the sad side of the spectrum.
No, yeah,
I just think that if you talk about something like that, sometimes you just need to, you know, like face it with a big smile on your face. I know it sounds cheesy as hell, but suicide and mental health is something that's been present in all our lives, in my life for sure. So I can't face this kind of thematic with a sad song because it's gonna double down on the heavy.
Do like a all minor chord, gloomy ass guitar song with the happiest lyrics in the world.
You know, like we rather go for the major songs, major chord songs with kind of a, you know, like, yeah, the song is funny, but if you manage to talk about something that's quite serious in a funny way, I do think that the message gets through probably in a better way. I don't know. It's not about, I don't know. It's not about the weight. Probably it's about the fact that people can accept some stuff in a cheerful way, and it's not cheerful. It's just it's like when you need to take medicine. You know, you want your medicine to taste sweet, not bitter. You know?
And I mean, when you do write the tracks, the songs, the lyrics, especially, do you find that you write them thinking about your listeners, or are they kind of more introspective songs?
No, it's a very selfish process, to be honest with you. It's just all about for the lyric side of things, I'm just saying my piece. If people want to listen to it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. And I was just saying to you before Fran popped on. I mean, obviously you've been able to play live now since lockdown. That must have really helped you kind of hone new tracks now that you haven't recorded yet, because a lot of the bands that I've spoken to, when they released stuff that they'd recorded during lockdown, they didn't have a clue how they'd go down because they haven't been able to play them live. So that must have kind of really helped you now be able to kind of hone the sound or the kind of tunes that you want to get out now.
Definitely, because we've had some that we thought were amazing. Like, this is such a good song. Played them live and they just went, oh.
Really?
Yeah. So I think we're not. There's like one in particular, but we're not shelving it for good because we still love it. We just think we need to tweak it somehow.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorite songs, to be honest. But when we played in one of the biggest places we could have ever played, and people were like, "Okay, that was a bit sad. Probably not. Let's wait and see."
Was that just a bad gig? Was it people that didn't really know who you were, or were they fans that heard you before?
A mix of both. It was in the Barrowlands in Glasgow, but to be fair, it wasn't. We were forcibly as a free piece at the end. At that point, it was just a band member left, and we tried to do the best we could, but it just wasn't the full effect, to be honest with you. So I'm going to put it down to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, when you do get those kind of reactions, obviously it's helpful. It's a lot, I mean, you've got social media and stuff like that as well, obviously. But I mean, once something's out there released on Spotify or whatever, you can't really do much about it. How do you approach criticism, even if it's not constructive criticism? How do you approach that?
Depends how it is, because if you'd be daft to not pay attention to constructive criticism, because it's the only way you're going to learn this. You need a really thick skin in this business, so absolutely no problem taking criticism because it's a learning tool. But if somebody just comes up, are you allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can say whatever you want. Yeah, no problem.
If somebody comes up, that's fucking shite. Fuck you. Fuck those guys, man. They'll get a headbutt.
Yeah, but you have to explain why it's fucking shite, otherwise it's not worth it.
Yeah, give me a reason.
So yeah,
I mean, we've been compared to Beatles, which was a bit weird from one of the review that I.
To the Beatles?
Yeah, to the Beatles. I've sent the review to David. He was like, "Oh, those people reviewed us, and they used like a year and a half old picture from another gig, another release." I was like, "All right, that's not really professional. Let's go read the review." And they compared the whole song they didn't like, obviously, to some Beatles track, and I'm like, we're not trying to play the Beatles. What the hell is this about? I was like, what the fuck?
I think it must have been a Monday.
Yeah, it's like that's great. I mean, you mentioned that. I mean, I've read other reviews. They kind of you've been compared to like Las Vegas, the Libertines, and Fontaines DC. Would you agree with those, or would you not agree that you kind of?
It's another question.
Either.
Another question that try to answer because I don't know. We don't really try to be like.
Yeah, you don't really fit into a specific genre or a specific kind of similar to any other group, really. Yeah. To me, anyway. Yeah.
Egotistically, we are the only ones. It's like I literally can't think of anyone that I would think that would be a really easy shoe into sound. Say that we were. I don't know. It's a really
there is one band, David. There is one band. You know that. There is random people, dude, that keep saying that we really resemble Manic Street Preacher, especially in the guitar riffing. And Manic Street Preacher is one of those bands that I've never listened to, so I don't know.
Never listened to.
So I'm like, what? And I had to go start listening to them, and I'm like, maybe. I mean, I don't really see any.
Yeah, well, maybe some of the earlier stuff, maybe some of the earlier guitar riffs, maybe, but yeah, not particularly. I did. There wasn't a band that jumped to my mind at all when I was listening to,
But we got that from very random people that never met each other, people from, I don't know, my university course, or like friends of friends of friends. And I'm like, what? I need to go check this because, people keep saying this. Whatever.
We do really, like, I especially, I hate unoriginality, man. I like, it really grinds my gears. So I'm quite happy that it's hard to put a pin in it where it kind of falls, man. Because if you're not going to be yourself, what's the point, man? I think, to be honest.
But having said that, what kind of inspiration do you? What kind of bands did you listen to when you were younger, or what kind of stuff do you listen to now that it does kind of inspire you, but you also kind of aspire not to kind of copy?
I love everything old, like 60s, 70s, 80s. And being in the scene, there's loads of up and coming bands that really respect and that are really doing something different, which is pretty cool and ticks my boxes. So yeah, like, I don't know, Gallus. I love Idols. As I said before, Queen, the Beatles, David Bowie's an absolute icon. So bit of a mixed bag.
You were originally going to call yourself Gallus Avenue, I believe. No, is that not right? And then you changed it because of Gallus. No, yeah.
Well, you've done your research.
Done a bit of homework, yeah.
Yeah, we were, and then realised there was another band called Gallus. So I was like, fuck, right, we'll change it. But they've done really good for themselves so far, so I'm glad we did change it.
Yeah, because you're going to be playing a festival soon with them as well, I think, no?
Yeah, they're playing Good Fest as well, yeah. Looking forward to that one. I think they're actually from the same place as me, to be honest with you. At least one of them is Clydebank. So yeah, it'll be cool. Looking forward to it.
And then what about you? I mean, coming from Italy, what kind of stuff do you listen to when you? I mean, growing up in Italy, because I've been here in Spain for a long time, and the music there's a kind of a British music following over here, but it's not massive. What was it like growing up in Italy? And what kind of stuff did you kind of listen to over there? That was kind of alternative, if you will.
I've always listened to a bit of everything, but when I was like young, it was mostly like commercial stuff that MTV was putting out.
Street Preachers and things like that, huh?
No, not really. No, it's just because when I was a kid, MTV was still a thing, So you had all the different days and nights where they were, like broadcasting different stuff, and I don't know, you had like a rap night, a metal night. So I grew up with whatever MTV was feeding me, and then the more I was getting into the music thing, my what do you call it? Stepfather, yeah. It was really into prog metal and then all the 60s stuff, 70s stuff from the UK. So I started with like Sabbath and Zeppelin and I don't know, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, or the kind of really instrumental. I was a way better musician back then than I am right now, to be honest. Yeah, I was really shredding it. And now I'm quite the lazy reverberate kind of guy. So, but yeah, I've always listened to everything, dude. Everything that is done with some level of, production or music decency, it's worth to be listened, learn from, and possibly stolen, because it's something like you can repurpose forever, So sometimes you just need to go with it and understand what they were doing. That's the bad thing about being a musician. You stop listening to music as it is and you start, dissecting it every time you can. You listen to the bass line and the guitar line, the synth line, the double vocals, the in the back, and that kind of crushes it a bit. But I literally listen to everything, dude. Everything. From Dua Lipa to, I don't know, Agent Orange and Cannibal Corpse, everything.
Brilliant. And what about the actual music scene there? You're based in Glasgow, no? How is the music scene there, especially since COVID and everything lockdown? How's the music scene now? Is it kind of reviving?
Yeah, it's quite saturated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands. Like,
But when you say saturated, you mean by a lot of the same kind of bands, or is there a lot of variation around there now?
A lot of it's something. There is some really cool bands like doing something different, but there's a lot of bands. It's always gets this similar sort of catfish in the bottom and sound, and it's like just grinds on me. But there's some really talented bands, and there's just we found that we performed our last gig in Glasgow for the year. We're setting our sights further afield because we just found this banging our heads against the wall in Glasgow for a while. So there's a big world out there, and we want to go and see it. So we're hopefully going to be over visiting your neck of the woods soon, and get an English tour planned, and then we're setting our sights over the water on it for next year. So, but yeah, Glasgow's amazing. There's loads of talented people, but there's a lot of bands in Glasgow just now, which is good for the scene, things like that.
No, definitely. We say you can be a prophet in your hometown, you know.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a prophet, you need to go somewhere else. Yeah.
But you did recently do 2 or 3 gigs in was it in London? I can't remember what else now. You did like 2 or 3 gigs in the UK. How was in England? How was it compared to Scotland? How are the crowds there? Because I imagine that they probably weren't quite as aware of you as the crowd in Glasgow, no?
We were fortunate enough to get put on some really a couple of sold out shows and things like that, and that's what's kind of opened it up.
Wait, frozen up now.
Oh. Well, I can continue if you want.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah. Let's see if he comes back. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, no, we had this 3 runs show down in England, and
he's
still with us.
Yeah, he's back with us. Yeah. No, you just froze up for a second there, David.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know where I got to. When did I cut out?
You're sold out show in England.
Right, okay. So we got a couple of sold out shows in England, and it's kind of opened our eyes a wee bit, because that we run of shows down in England has done more for us than the last 3 years in Glasgow. Like, the opportunities came off the back of it, and I think it's just because we are completely different down there as well. So it's a good place to sort of just start building something a wee bit different. And that's what our kind of goals are now. We're just want to play a wee bit further afield and see other markets, other audiences. So yeah, so we're really excited for touring all over the place.
I know that you were recently in a studio was it in April? Was it in last April in 45 A-side recordings? Is that stuff that you've released already, or is that something that we still it's on the horizon? And can you tell us anything about what's coming from those recordings?
Just that it's the best stuff we've ever done, and we're extremely proud of it. And we've done some pretty interesting stuff on them. So it will be in due course, because we're planning it proper, we're planning it big. We've still got one more track to record and some final touches, but yeah, it's our biggest, most rambunctious body of work yet. So we're really excited about it.
And have you been able to play some of those true tunes live as well in front of an audience, just to kind of test the waters before you release them? Yeah,
we've played I think two of them, and they've went down amazingly. It's like, that's the first thing. Our strength as a band is our live shows. We find we really leave nothing left to give after the show's done. We're all buckets of sweat and can't. And I've collapsed backstage a few times into a ball after a show. So we've really tried to capture that instead of going, because I think we've kind of been led astray before when we've recorded by the engineers, and they just kind of pushed a wee bit more indie rather than maybe, I don't know, persuaded us otherwise, but this time we've went in with the full intent of we want to capture the live show sound and just be that same energy. So that's what we've done.
And how did you actually go about kind of capturing the live show in a studio?
Fran?
Yeah, leaving the fuck up.
So it's Fran's doing, is it?
Yeah, I actually cut my finger, so it's all right. Leaving all the fuck ups, honestly, like, because we went recording before the session, we went recording a very fancy place that you can see in loads of documentary, like Lewis Capaldi documentary, Befi Claros and Paolo Nutini. So as a top-notch kind of place, but obviously they do mostly like pop-ish, over-polished stuff. So we did tons of recordings of guitars and bass and drums, fills and everything. And it sounded amazing, but just not like us. It was way too plasticky, too polished, too artifact. With Paul at the 45, we actually left loads of those little imperfection in guitars and vocals and all those noises and things that kind of gives you the idea what kind of show you're gonna see, And in the end, it really sounded like us. It was crazy. It was really crazy. And Paul really turned the tide for us. I think we're gonna go back to that. We're gonna go back to him and record more stuff with him, because he kind of guided us towards what we didn't know we needed, both sound wise and sometimes even like writing wise, kind of coaching us into, right, you wrote an amazing song, but it's not necessary. So let's trim this a bit and make it more. Yeah. So I think this is probably what happened.
Close to, we were doing a wee bit of pre-production, and he's like, write another song. Right, just go. Just write something now. And then we did it in about 5 minutes. Wrote a song, and then it's maybe the best one on the EP.
It tends to happen. Yes. I mean, no pun intended, but one of the Manic Street Preacher's best albums was the Holy Bible, and they kind of went into this really kind of almost like a garage and recorded there, and it was really kind of homegrown. And I mean, I'm not just pulling your leg, but literally it's their best album. It's some of their best materials. I imagine it's kind of the same thing happened to you guys, no?
No,
yeah, I had this riff on the phone forever that I never used, and the guy was like, write another song, and I played, because we got a new drummer just before the session, so I played it for him, and he was like, yeah, I like that. So we just did like verse, or like pre-verse, verse, chorus, verse, special verse, chorus, whatever, and it just sounded amazing. And then all he needed was like vocal lines and a solo. That was it. And it's like 2 minutes 45 seconds of pure dynamite. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And you just kind of basically went in virtually without rehearsing and dived in and recorded it.
It just happened there. 15 minutes. It was like a fag break. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, listen, I don't want to keep it too long. So just to finish off, I like to finish off by asking you guys, any other groups, any kind of up and coming groups that you've discovered over the last few years that you think need more recognition, maybe appearing on this show as well?
Subviolet from Glasgow are really good.
Subviolet?
Yeah, they also recorded with Paul. It was them that put me onto him, and I was getting, I don't know if I was allowed to, but I was getting a wee sneak peek of the stuff that they've been working on when we were past in doing some mixed up. It just sounds amazing. Sounds really, really good. So yeah, they're good guys and some really good musicians. So yeah, I'd say them.
And
I don't know, for me, I keep finding new bands every month, but I want to shout out this band of friends before bands they were, and then they're called Blow Up Dog, and they play they do a very brave kind of music, because they play very punk, like 80s punk kind of music, and it's not something that is trending now. It's not something with a stable market, and they do it amazingly. A couple of them comes from, again, stoner scene, so it's a mix of 80s punk with stoner's guitar. So for me, it's like a thing. I love it. They might not make millions, but I love that kind of music.
Yeah, no, they're good guys as well. Agreed.
Brilliant. So just to finish off, then, can you let people know exactly when they can catch you next time live? Because I know when we talked about the festival that you've got coming up soon. Have you got any other live dates coming up soon that people be able to catch you at?
We will be, I don't even know if this is announced yet, but we'll be down in England. We'll be down in Derby at the Hairy Dog on, when is it, Fran? Is it the
I don't
9th?
know. I mean, the only thing that we know so far, the festival, the other one are still like in the making, because when you're a DIY band, you need to figure the budget before
before
the
heading down
shows
there, yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I know it's not very professional, but this is what we're working with right now.
Hope to not be a DIY band in the close immediate future. So, yeah.
Play football.
Yeah. But listen, thanks you so much for speaking to me, guys. I wish you the best luck with the single. I know it's going down really well, and I hope to speak to you again sometime soon about the this new EP that's going to be coming out sometime soon.
Nice one, Howard, man.
All right, nice to meet you. Nice to speak to you. Take care of yourselves, guys. All right, all the best. Cheers then. Bye now.
Bye.
Boom.